Hey guys, this is Gary Lee Stanley, your sales guy. Hey, today we're going to talk about my favorite subject, which is sales. All right, we got a cool subject for us today, and it really means a lot to me because I think you'll enjoy it. So what is our title for today? Selling. It's not how you start, it's how you finish. What do you say? Selling. It's not how you start, it's how you finish. Well, that's a pretty good topic. Okay, I've been hearing this for a while now. I've been hearing this quote. It's all over the place. And people are telling you, hey, man, if you're starting, it ain't where you're at. It's where you're going to be. So we got to figure out as salespeople, what do we got to do to be successful? A lot of times when you're starting a new career in sales or you're starting a new job with a new company, or if you're just trying to start something new, a lot of times, we don't know what we're doing. We don't know anything about our product. We have basic ideas about how to have conversation, and a lot of times when we first start, we struggle, okay, because we just start in. That's just the reality of it. And see, what happens is the more you do your presentations, the more you have conversations with customers, it gives you confidence and you're more able to ask for the order, okay? Now, you might be one of them kind of people that come on like gangbusters, but in reality, most salespeople, they have that beginning fear, false evidence appearing real. They don't know. And when you don't know, you kind of like, you do your best. And if you've been in sales for a long time, I don't care how long you've been, if you got a brand new product you got to sell, you kind of feel like, dang, I hope I can do this. I hope I can sell this, because if you don't, they may get somebody else to replace you. I don't want that. Selling is a process. It's a numbers game. It's a 1, 2, 3. You got to get it done. You got to do your best, and you have to show up. Now, a lot of times when you're a brand new salesperson, you got no experience, or you got a little bit. And a lot of times when you got no experience, you don't know what to do. Remember, it's not where you start, it's where you finish. My name is Gary Lee Stanley, your sales guy, and I told you I'd tell you the good, the bad, the ugly, the warts and all about selling, because I love it all. Selling is real cool. And when you're trying to sell a new product, or if you're just getting into sales and you don't have this background or this toolbox full of all these closes and techniques to be able to ask questions and overcome objections, sometimes we feel real bad. We feel like, dang, why can't I get this? Don't worry, your time is going to come. Don't give up before the miracle. It's just that simple. A lot of times, like I said, we take it personally because we want to produce. We got people watching us, and these people are trying to tell you what you need to do. Get a piece of paper, pen. You got to be always practicing. You always got to be studying. You always got to be standing in front of a mirror and having a conversation with yourself like you're talking to a customer. Again, it's not where you start, it's where you finish. I've been one of these kind of salespersons. When I got real frustrated, I couldn't sell a particular product because it just wasn't my MO. I have to sell things that I feel comfortable in, and sometimes that might be you. Again, it's not always where you start. I've seen some people that were real weak. I mean, when they first started, they couldn't sell their way out of a paper bag that was wet. Pop right through. Fist bump. And I was like, dang, I don't know if these people are going to make it. But see, what happens is they showed me something. They showed they had true grit. That means they stuck to their guns. They showed up every day. They did everything in their power to learn and do the best they could. They practiced, they practice and they practice. And if you are afraid, you got to practice, baby. You got to have that conversation. And if you don't get out there and get your feet wet, knocking on them doors, going business to business, picking up that phone call, you really can't improve on getting better. Again, it's not where you start, it's where you finish. And I know that sounds kind of funny, and a lot of times, I ain't saying your whole career is over or anything, but if you got a contest, I've seen these people that sucked and then they got really good. I mean, they were so bad that they just couldn't sell. They couldn't get it. But see, they stuck and stayed. And a lot of times you got to go through, baby. You can't just show up and be, I'm number one, and then become number one. You got to go through the process. Now, there might be a few of you out there that are real good salespeople, but I'm talking to real salespeople, people who struggle, who have issues that are like tissues. They pop up every day, okay? And if you're starting in sales, our total subject for today, it's not It's not where you start, it's where you finish. Golly, that's just so simple. It just makes so much sense. When I heard this, I remember the first time I heard it, I was like, what? Are they trying to tell me I got am I not going to do good? You know, that's not what they're trying to do. They're just trying to give you some encouragement. Encouragement makes salespeople better. Now, I ain't saying hold their hand forever, because a lot of times you got to go out there, baby, and get your feet wet. And that means you got to go do the job. But see, if you are listening to people who are mediocre, they ain't going to take you where you need to be. And I know you want to be number one, or at least the best you can be. You know, it's not where you start, it's where you finish. And I'm going to tell you what, I've been in sales since the 80s. I've seen some really great companies that I thought I was going to be working for forever done go out of business. I'm talking big companies for 100 years, 50 years, and so forth. But you know what? I'm one of these kind of people that I don't give up that easy. And sometimes, you know, I've had like 2 or 3 sales jobs at the same time, like right now. But the reason being is because I like to make the money, honey. And one of the things that you got to deal with is when you're in sales, you got to figure out, well, what's the best product for me to sell? Again, if you're selling something and you can wrap your mind around it and you can see yourself being successful at it, you got that good start. A lot of times people come into sales, they think it's going to be real easy and they're going to make all this money, honey. But I'm going to tell you what, when you first get into sales, it's a struggle for most people. It's not easy. But once they get a sale, it's like, dang, I think I could do this. Because remember, they started. You got to start somewhere. Where are you going to start today? Are you going to start at the bottom? Maybe. If that's where you plan on staying, bye. For most salespeople, we want salespeople around us. We need mentors and people that can excite us, give us great advice, people that are being successful. Now, if you start hanging around with the turkeys, you're going to end up being a turkey. I like hanging around with the eagles because the eagles always fly, and they're awesome, just great. And I'm just telling you, if you want to be successful in sales, don't hang around the water cooler talking bad about everybody. Why they doing so good and I'm not? That's called being weak. Strong salespeople, they got to remember they have to start somewhere. It's not where you start, it's where you finish. Even if you don't have any experience at all, or maybe you got a bunch of sales experience. If you don't have it, just get you the fundamentals, get you a base. You got to start somewhere. With your base, you build from that base. Look at videos all the time. Study the craft of sales. Listen to audio when you're going from business to business. If you're going door to door, carry something with you that's going to motivate you, that's going to inspire you to be successful. Again, it's not where you start, it's where you finish. Now, like I said, I've worked with companies I did real good. And at first it was like I was kind of weak because I didn't know what I was doing. But once I started getting better and understanding the philosophy and learning about how to have a conversation with people and having the opportunity to learn to overcome objections, I ask a lot of questions. Can you help me? Because I'm that kind of guy. I want to be successful. And I know you do too. Listen, it's not where you start, it's where you finish. Okay, I've seen some people, they stay with the same company year after year after year, and they're successful. But when they first started, they weren't that successful. They had to work at it. It's a process. You know, my name is Gary Lee Stanley, your sales guy. I told you I'd tell you the good, the bad, the ugly, and everything about selling that people don't talk about. Because struggling sometimes in sales is a part of it. But once we get through, I'm talking about we get through. Once you get through, it takes that pressure off of you guys. You know, I like to make jokes and have fun and stuff like that, but this is kind of a serious subject. The seriousness behind it is you can do anything you put your mind to. That's what my mama always told me. And I'll tell you what, that's some good advice. But I ain't going to say you ain't going to have no good days, bad days, and days you just wish you would have stayed up in the bed. But you can't make no money, honey, like that. You work on commission. So remember, it's not where you start, it's where you finish. Work for those small goals first, your daily goals. How many people you talk to? Your weekly goals. How many people did you talk for the week? How many opportunities did you get a chance to share your information about your product? Did you think about that? A lot of times if we don't take notes and write down how many people we talk to and look at our leads and say, well, how many people did I talk to? The more people that you talk to, again, it's a process, guys. It's a numbers game. It's not where you start. I mean, I've seen some people that you would look at and say, them people suck. They ain't never going to be no salesman. I had people look at me like that, and then I kick their butts. But the key to success is to be humble. Be humble now. Don't be going out like you big and bad and all that. Because I'll tell you what, as soon as you act like that, somebody going to knock you right off. And I don't want that. I want you to be the best that we can be. Okay. You know, my name is Gary Lee Stanley. Our whole conversation today was selling. It's not how you start, it's how you finish. And I'm going to tell you what, once you get really good at sales, you got to share your experiences with those that are less fortunate, people who are just starting out, who need help, who need mentors. So you learn, get real good, because you had to start somewhere, and they will too. So make sure that when you share your wealth of knowledge, give them a break, man. They need some help. Don't ever tear somebody down. Build them up. That's our brothers and sisters in this world. We got to bless people, because if you give somebody a blessing, you'll get blessed too. And I just love talking to people. I love talking about sales. And you're important, and we matter. So do me a favor. Go out there and sell something. But if you ain't asking for the order, you ain't selling. And our subject for today was, it's not where you start in selling, it's where you finish. Okay, so go out there and sell something. You'll get better at it. Some days you'll do real good, some days will be bad, but don't worry, the more you do it, the better you get. It's not where you start, it's where you finish. So go out there and sell something and have a great day. This is Gary Lee Stanley, your sales guy, saying, hey, have a nice day, guys. The question was, it's not where we start, it's where we finish. We're going to be awesome. You're going to be awesome. So go out there and sell something. All right.